Hello 10th graders. Today we're going to go through your third comprehension revision sheet of semester 4. So let's start. Part 1, reading. We always read the blurb, which is this part that usually contains the main idea of what the text will talk about. In the text below, the writer explains how fatal tumors plaguing green sea turtles for decades may be caused by pollution. Of course, fatal means deadly or causes death, and plaguing meaning hurting and following, okay? Read the selection carefully and then work on the activities that follow. Tumors linked to sewage. Okay, a tumor is a sort of sometimes cancerous growth, okay, that occurs in the animal species, okay. Paragraph number 1. Nitrogen-rich runoff from sewers and farms is leading to a rise in invasive seaweeds. And when we say invasive, we mean it's not local. It's not native to that area. These seaweeds or the ocean or sea plants, okay, are coming from other parts and other oceans and do not belong to this part of the sea. Nitrogen-rich runoff from sewers and farms is leading to a rise in invasive seaweeds that, when consumed by reptiles, when eaten by reptiles, may set off a herpes virus that causes deadly tumors. The flower-like tumors, which can grow on a turtle's eye, mouth, joints, and internal organs, have contributed to declines in the 1.2 meter long turtle. So as we see here, those tumors are causing death among the 1.2 meter long turtles. Listed as endangered, okay, about to become extinct or in danger of becoming extinct, by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, green sea turtles are found in the world's tropical and subtropical waters. Paragraph 2. In some parts of Hawaii where green sea turtle strandings occur regularly, as many as 90% of stranded, dead, or dying turtles discovered have been afflicted with the disease, according to a study led by Kyle Van Houten. Okay, stranded means stuck in a place. An ecologist, who is Kyle Van Houten? An ecologist with the National Oceanic Fisheries in Honolulu, which is the capital of Hawaii. Wherever the turtle strandings occur, there is often evidence of sewage and invasive seaweeds, Van Houten noted. Until now, however, hard evidence that pollution factors into the turtle's disease has remained elusive. Okay, even though there is some sort of evidence that sewage water, runoff water, okay, from factories, from farms, from human use, toilets, etc., and invasive seaweeds that have come from other areas to a new area are generally, according to Van Houten, the cause for this disease. But the factors, the hard evidence, is still elusive. Okay, it's still not there. That this guy does not have hard evidence yet that this is a cause-effect factor. 3. Van Houten and colleagues are the co-workers, analyzed human activities on land to calculate a nitrogen footprint for each watershed, an area that drains into a water body on the Hawaiian Islands. Okay. The team also studied 28 years worth of data on green sea turtles strandings on the islands. Comparing the two data sets, the scientists found that diseased turtles strand more in areas with high nitrogen runoff. Okay, when we say nitrogen runoff, nitrogen is produced in sewage areas, okay? So when there's a lot of nitrogen, there is, it's a result of sewage from agriculture, sewers, and cities. These turtle tumor hotspots are, Van Houten said, the places that I wouldn't necessarily want to go surfing after a rain because of the nasty stuff that would show up in the oceans. So according to Van Houten, there's a lot of pollution in these areas, in the stranding areas. Okay. Paragraph 4. Scientists do not think the nitrogen-loaded runoff causes tumors directly. Okay, so it's not cause-effect, direct cause-effect. Instead, there may be a chain of interactions that start with a nitrogen-fed boom in non-native seaweeds. Okay, so those non-native or invasive seaweeds are fed by nitrogen. So they thrive and grow on nitrogen, at least in Hawaii. Okay? Nitrogen acts as a fertilizer in oceans and is a main cause of oxygen-sucking algae blooms called dead zones. So those algae, the plants in the sea and seaweeds, the invasive ones, the bad ones, feed on nitrogen, okay? And they take away the oxygen from the water. Paragraph 5. Around the Hawaiian Islands, several seaweed species were either accidentally introduced or deliberately harvested for food crops and later escaped cultivation and spread into the wild. So how did those non-native or invasive seaweeds come to that area? Accidentally introduced or harvested for food and then they went into the wild. For example, hookweed, native to the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, the Indian Ocean, and the Philippines, was introduced in Hawaii in 1974. So hookweed didn't used to exist in Hawaii, but was introduced by humans from these areas, taken from these areas and brought to Hawaii. And we see what harmful effects that had on turtles. Paragraph 6. The seaweed absorbs the extra nitrogen and converts it to arginine. Okay, so they take away, nitrogen, these seaweeds, and convert them to this amino acid. When turtles eat the seaweed, arginine awakens herpes viruses in turtles' body, generating tumors. It is possible that non-native seaweed in Hawaii is better than native seaweed at converting nitrogen to arginine. So the non-native ones convert nitrogen to arginine, which harms the bodies of the turtles, waking up the herpes virus, which consequently causes different types of tumors. Furthermore, because Hawaiian green sea turtles now rely on the invasive seaweed for food, Van Houten suspects the animals are dosed with tumor-triggering amino acid at every meal. So now these turtles that live in Hawaii have gotten used to eating this arginine-producing seaweed, and so it generates in them, triggers in them or starts in them a tumor cycle. It causes tumors. Paragraph 7. Alonso Aquere, a wildlife epidemiologist with the non-profit Eco Health Alliance in New York, says, regardless of exactly how the tumors form, the turtles are telling us that something is happening to the oceans in a way that now we have to pay attention. Now, this brings us to the first part of our exercises. Part A, comprehension questions. I will go through them one by one with you. They are 4 questions. Number 1, by referring to paragraph 6 displayed for you here, what causes tumors in sea turtles? When turtles eat the seaweed, arginine awakens herpes viruses in turtles' body, generating tumors. Generating tumors. Number 2, according to paragraph 1 displayed here, how have harmful human activities harmed sea turtles? Let's see. Runoff sewage from sewers and farms is leading to a rise in invasive seaweeds, meaning non-native, shouldn't exist in that part, when consumed by reptiles. Okay, may set off a herpes virus that causes deadly tumors. Okay, have contributed, these tumors, these flower-like tumors have contributed in the decline in the number of the 1.2 meter long turtles, which are already endangered species. So the answer, how has it affected them? Nitrogen-rich runoff from sewers and farms is leading to a rise in invasive seaweeds that, when consumed by reptiles, turtles are reptiles, may set off a herpes virus that causes deadly tumors. Number 3, give 2 pieces of evidence from paragraphs 2 and 3 that show that human activity is causing harm to sea turtles. Paragraph 3. Paragraph 4, we have a lot of evidence here. Okay, 90%, for example, this one, 90% of stranded, dead or dying turtles discovered have been afflicted with the disease. So this is a very important piece of evidence. And this one too, wherever the sea turtle strandings occur, there is often evidence of sewage and invasive seaweeds. Those are the 2 important factors. Again, let's check for more pieces of evidence in paragraph 4. On land, calculate a nitrogen footprint for, okay. The team also studied 28 years worth of data on the green sea turtle. Okay, the scientists found that diseased turtles strand more in areas with high nitrogen runoff from agriculture, sewers, and cities. So this is a piece of evidence that human activities are harming turtles. So, answer, 2 pieces of evidence are that, first of all, the scientists found that diseased turtles strand more in areas with high nitrogen runoff from agriculture, sewers, and cities, and in some parts of Hawaii, where green sea turtle strandings occur regularly. As many as 90% of stranded, dead, or dying turtles discovered have been afflicted with the disease, according to a study led by Kyle Van Houten, an ecologist with the National Oceanic Fisheries in Honolulu. So, strong pieces of evidence here. Remember, please don't write them in points when you are putting the pieces of evidence. Write it in a paragraph form, please. Number 4, this is an opinion question, but I did give you a sample answer. In your opinion, how are sea turtles affected by pollution in Lebanon? What can be done to lessen or decrease the impact, the effect of this problem? Those are my suggested answers for you. In Lebanon, sea turtles are quite hurt by the plastic bag pollution that is taking place in the country's sea. Turtles are mistaking plastic bags dumped in the sea as part of the garbage chaos in the country. They think that plastic bags are jellyfish. When the turtles consume them, they choke and die. And this is how the population of turtles is being affected. Another reason why turtles are being affected in Lebanon, oil leaks in the Mediterranean from different ships and boats, and also sewage dumps in the sea are causing great harm to the turtle population. Of course, as we read in this article, sewage dumps are full of harmful chemicals that could hurt sea turtles and produce different kinds of diseases in them, like the ones in the Hawaii case, where the turtles got tumors because of that. Moving on, part B, organizational skills questions. What is the significance of the title to the text? This is how you should answer such a question. The title, write it please, Tumors Linked to Sewage, reflects the main idea of the text. Tell me what the main idea is. which is about how sewage is affecting sea turtles and how they are getting tumors as a result of those sewers dumped into the sea. Okay, so this is one way you could answer the question. You can also equally see that the title, Tumors Linked to Sewage, is a condensed summary of the main idea of the text, which is how sewage is affecting turtle populations in the sea, okay, or the ocean. Moving on. What type of introduction did the author use? Okay, I displayed the introduction here for you. Let's read it together. Nitrogen-rich runoff from sewers and farms is leading to a rise in invasive seaweeds that, when consumed by reptiles, may set off a herpes virus that causes deadly tumors. The flower-like tumors, which can grow on a turtle's eye, mouth, joints, and internal organs, have contributed to declines in the 1.2 meter long turtles. Listed as endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, green sea turtles are found in the world's tropical and subtropical waters. So, how did the author introduce the article? What we see is interesting facts, surprising facts, okay? Why does the author do that? Why does the author introduce an article with strong or surprising facts? Three reasons. So the author uses interesting facts or catchy statements to start the article. The purpose of this method: 1. Arouse the reader's curiosity, catch their attention, and introduce them to the main idea of the text, which is how sewage dumped into seas is affecting turtles. Full stop. You have a perfect answer here. And as I told you before, please, when I ask you for the type of the introduction and for its purposes or justification, I want 3 purposes, okay? And just like the ones I displayed here for you, depending on the introduction, okay? Number 3, why do you think the author quotes Van Houten so often in the text? First of all, who is Van Houten? Van Houten is an expert. And when you take a quote for an expert, you are trying to gain what? To achieve credibility, authenticity, etc. So, Van Houten is an expert, an ecologist with the National Oceanic Fisheries in Honolulu. So, quoting him will help the author achieve credibility, authenticity, objectivity. You can also write accuracy if you want. Okay, this is the reason we quote experts in an article, to gain credibility. One of the types of evidence we learned. Moving on. Number 4, what 2 types of audience other than the general reader might be interested in? Okay, name two types of audience other than the general reader who might be interested in reading the text. This is a sample answer. 2 types of audience who might be interested in reading the article Sewage Linked to Tumors are environmentalists. Why? To see how pollution from sewage is affecting marine life. Marine, by marine I mean water life, aquatic life. Also, government officials or lawmakers, okay, the people you vote for in the parliament, from countries who are affected by this issue, like Lebanon, for example, might want to read this article to see how severe this issue is and to make new laws regarding water pollution. Okay? Very detailed and very precise. Please don't say governments. Governments of what? And what branch of government? Okay? Finally, in the organizational questions, number 5, what pattern of organization is used in paragraph 4? Justify your answer. Reading it together. Around the Hawaiian Islands, several seaweed species were either accidentally introduced or deliberately harvested for food crops and later escaped cultivation and spread into the wild. For example, here, the author is talking about how the invasive non-native seaweed came to this area. And then what did the author do? Gave an example. For example, hookweed, native to the Mediterranean, Caribbean, Indian Ocean, and the Philippines, was introduced in Hawaii. So what the author did, presented an idea and illustrated, gave an example. Okay? The pattern of organization is idea, illustration, or exemplification if you want. Now, the justification, the author talks about how types of invasive seaweed came to exist in the sea. He then gives an example of hookweed, native to the Mediterranean, Caribbean, Indian Ocean, Philippines, which was introduced in Hawaii in 1974. Okay, complete answer here. Now let's move on to the second set of questions, true or false statements. Instructions: tell whether the following statements are true or false. Correct the false ones. Hookweed is native to Hawaii. We already read that it's not. It was brought from other areas. So we need to justify that. Non-native seaweed is more beneficial to sea turtles than native seaweed ones. Of course not. As we read in the article, the native ones are the more beneficial because non-native ones trigger the production of tumors in them because of the nitrogen, the high concentration of nitrogen. So false, false. Sewers, number 3, sewers and farms are a reason for the increase in invasive seaweeds. Of course, the nitrogen runoffs feed those seaweeds with nitrogen, and the seaweeds just grow and flourish, the hurtful seaweeds. So false, hookweed native to these areas was introduced in Hawaii. False, native seaweed is more beneficial to turtles than invasive ones. Number 3 is true. Now, this is a chart. Copy the table, then skim the text to fill the table with the attitude means tone, of each given party towards the green sea turtle problem. Provide clear evidence to your answer. Use phrases only. The International Union for Conservation Nature. When we were talking about this union or this organization, how did it sound? Okay, they were alarmed. They were warning people that this is a very huge problem which could cause devastation to turtle populations. Van Houten, on the other hand, seemed more scientific and neutral. What he was doing is presenting evidence. Okay, so his tone was mainly scientific, objective, and neutral. Okay, the International Union for Conservation, warning and alarming. Now here I want a supporting evidence. Why did we say warning and alarming? In the text, sounding the alarm about the possibility of green sea turtle going extinct. Sounding the alarm, obviously. Van Houten, a scientific objective, pointing out that the relation between sewage and sea turtles tumors is unconfirmed, scientifically analyzing the role by amino acids in the formation of the tumors. Okay. Now the next part, pronoun reference. What do the following pronouns refer to? I in paragraph 3 displayed here, 6, okay, 2 in paragraph 6 displayed here. Where's the pronoun I? Okay, there it is. Let's see, read before, read after. Comparing the two data sets, the scientists found that diseased turtles strand more in areas with high nitrogen runoff from agriculture, sewers, and cities. These turtle tumor hotspots are, Van Houten said, the places that I wouldn't necessarily want to go surfing after a rain. So who's speaking? Whose quotes are these? Van Houten. So obviously the pronoun I refers to Van Houten. Paragraph 6. The seaweed absorbs the extra nitrogen and converts it to arginine. It refers to the extra nitrogen. Okay? The seaweed absorbs the extra nitrogen and converts the extra nitrogen into arginine. Okay, so there they are in complete sentences. The pronoun I in paragraph 3 refers to Van Houten. The pronoun it in paragraph 6 refers to extra nitrogen. Complete sentences, please, with full stops. F. Vocab and context. Which of the bold typed words in the text most closely have the following meaning? Kind or type, species from the ones that are bold typed, co-workers, colleagues, bad, unpleasant, nasty, tending to spread very quickly and harmfully, invasive. Okay, it's spreading, it's coming from another area. Species, colleagues, nasty, and invasive. So that's it for this worksheet. We'll talk about this more next time we meet on Zoom. Take care and stay safe.